Hello, today we will see the topic of literacy from the different points of view. Let's start. Literacy is a word that comes from Latin literatus, which means marked with letters. Literacy in the 19th century in English-speaking countries was used to refer to people who could read and write. However, reading and writing were seen as separate skills, so much so that first they were taught to people to read and then to write. But not everyone had access to literacy. This was exclusive to the elite, and was not until the second half of the 20th century that literacy was used in the educational discussion and generalized in the industrialized countries, and currently literacy is an important indicator of the development of the countries. For this reason, it has become one of the main factors of education. There are different ways of understanding literacy. One of these is sociocultural understanding of literacy, where literacy is understood as social practice where people are enculturated as members of a specific social group that depends on the context. That is how reading and writing are no longer seen as separate skills, but respond to a cognitive process as we see in the image. Reading depends on both automatic decoding and serial processing of the text. To understand that reading is a complex process based on meaning, and requires interaction with the text and factors based on the reader. There are different ways of understanding literacy. One of these is sociocultural understanding of literacy, where literacy is understood as a social practice, where people are enculturated as members of a specific social group that depends on the context. That is how reading and writing are no longer seen as separate skills, but respond to a cognitive process, as we see in the image. Reading depends on both automatic decoding and social processing of the text. To understand that reading is a complex process based on the meaning, and requires interaction with the text and factors based on the reader. Reading and writing are compositive building processes that depend on the social context. Another way to understand literacy is from the notion of multiliteracy and multimodality. Multimodal literacy focuses on the development of the communication skills which have been implemented thanks to the technological tools and the media, which allows both the writer and the reader to use image, videos, music, or animation that convert usual reading in a multimodal activity.
Critical literacy. Critical literacy teaches people to go beyond and ask themselves why do they read what they read and what is the purpose of writing what they write, and this allows people to become aware of the world around them and to feel active and critical subjects with their lives. However, it is important to emphasize that conventional literacy and critical literacy not go hand in hand and none should be subordinate. In the image, we can see some characteristics of both critical literacy and conventional literacy.
We as teachers can implement critical literacy in our classroom, making students interact with text online, where they can feel familiar with their environment but making them reflect on the background of the text, understanding what the true meaning of reading is and what relationship does it have with reality. After a student carry out this type of individual activities in class, the base can be promoted to critically analyze the importance of the topic studied and their relationship with current affairs. We can also implement the use of educational texts that promote individual reflection among students It's also possible to motivate the creation of infographics, comics, dramatization, advertising message, and reports, so that from multimodal text, students develop a critical point of view that allows them to give their own opinion regarding their readings and texting during class.